everybody, welcome. We are here again with the Big Picture Manatee. As you remember, we're here to educate, we're here to communicate with folks, we're here to listen, inform, and learn about things that are important to Manatee County. I'm Sherry Corrier. I'm a local business owner and former county administrator, longtime county employee.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hello, everyone. My name is Reggie Bellamy, former county commissioner of District 2, proud Army veteran. Excited to be here. Welcome aboard, everyone.
Wow, I have to follow that singing. So I'm Misty Servia. I am, yes, I'm a business owner. And yes, I'm back working for the government and working for DeSoto County, which has been magnificent. I'm happy to be here. Hello, everybody.
Great. And you can all see we have a special guest here today. We are thrilled to have Charles Clapsaddle. Charles, he's a writer, he's a director, producer, local community hero, and probably the most recognizable person here in Manatee County. Charles, for those who may be tuning in from somewhere else or they've just moved here, tell us a little bit about you and your background, some highlights.
And I will, Sherry, but first, if I may say so, I just want to say how much I admire and respect each and every one of you. The work that you've done for the county throughout the years is highly acceptable in this community, and you should be very proud of what you've accomplished. And to be here on a show with all three of you is a great honor. Just briefly, I've been with METV for a little over 25 years. I came from Washington, D.C. area where I used to work for the Department of Army. And I worked there for about 10, 11 years and came down here to be with my mom. And the University of South Florida and I got together and they offered me a position with the Manatee Educational Television. And if I may, I'll just tell you very briefly about METV. It's a consortium. Most what they call PEG channels, public education government channels, belong to either the government or a college or to a organization. The leadership, when they had the cable franchise, decided that it would be a consortium of different organizations altogether, which included the colleges, the university, the chamber, and many other nonprofits, as well as Manatee County government. And hats off to Pat Glass and John Rosen from SCF, and Dave Miner was on that panel, and they came up with this very unique concept. And throughout the state of Florida, there's maybe one, maybe two stations that are a consortium, public and education and government channels. And I came aboard in 1999 as a station manager. And at that time, very small station, no equipment, not a lot of funding, not a lot of programming. And my concept was to be great programming, people will come to you. We did that very, very diligently. We reached out to nonprofits, the Chamber of Commerce, Kiwanis organizations, and started to develop new and unique programming that would be of interest to our community. And over the years, we've developed, we have a great staff that we've hired over the years. We have great equipment, and we have the ability to go and do many, many things. And as Sherry would be happy to tell you, we took over running the government channel in 2006, I believe it was.
Yep.
We completely revamped the government channel, made it better and more efficient. And we do all the government meetings, land use, county commission meetings, planning meetings, both on the 5th floor new facility at Glass Chambers, but also out in the community as well. We've done things at the Civic Center, different places. We also do the city of Bradenton, their CRA meetings, the MPO meetings, the port meetings. So there's not a lot that we don't cover throughout the years. And it's been my effort to continue to outreach as much as possible to develop a community audience. So that's what we've been doing last 25 years.
So, wow, that's a lot, and we will go through this entire segment probably telling you thank you for everything that you do. I will put in a plug right now for the Palmetto Youth Center and the MLK weekend, and just tell you thank you for your impact as always, filming and serving as we celebrate the MLK weekend. But with all of that and all the things that you've done in the community, here's your true challenge right now. Can you give me your top moments and what stands out, very important to you in your career?
And I'd be happy to. I mean, there's so many that I'm very proud of that I've accomplished. But I must say that working on some of the documentaries that we've done has been very impressive. And most of you know Judge Charles Williams and Judge Durand Adams. And as a partnership together, we've created 7 documentaries that have been shown at film festivals around the country and been very well accepted. And one of our documentaries, which I'd love to talk about, is Through the Tunnel. It's the story of Lincoln Memorial High School. And we were very honored to win Best Documentary at the Doc Miami International Film Festival, and very proud of that. And it won a couple of other awards as well. Another one of our documentaries was about domestic violence, was nominated for a national award. And Judge Adams and I went out to Los Angeles, to UCLA for the award ceremony. It's just an honor to be nominated. We didn't win anything, but we were nominated, and that was truly wonderful. But among the many other things, we've had the opportunity throughout the years in working with the University of South Florida to do the Perlman Music Program for many, many years. And we have interviewed Itzhak Perlman, the world famous violinist, on several occasions. And he's a true gentleman. He and his wife, Toby, was a true pleasure to have somebody of that caliber be on METV. Yep. We've done a number of other things. We've done a thing with the former Attorney General Janet Reno, which was a wonderful opportunity. Judge Gilbert Smith helped us with that. We've done the regatta in the city of Bradenton many, many years, the DeSoto Parade. There's so many events, large and small, whether it's a public service announcement or whether it's a full-length documentary. Our outreach has been excessive. And right now on our server for playback, we have well over 6,000 different programs that are available for broadcast. And during my tenure, we were producing 10 to 15 new programs every month. And that ranged from different nonprofits featuring their efforts to full-length programs as well. So our programming is the most important part. Content is the most important part of a television station.
Well, and yes, content is the most important part. And let me tell you, you hustled every day, every hour of every day, finding content, because you were everywhere. I know everywhere that I was, you were, and you were places that so yeah. So I know all the awards that you've been honored with, and you've deserved every one of them, countless awards, but it's just a whole nother level to have an award named after you, Charles. And the Community Foundation does the Spirit of Manatee Awards every year. And a few years back, I think it was 2018, they named an annual award after you. It's called the Charles Clapsaddle Community Spotlight Award. Now, that is amazing. How did you feel when you were told that they were going to name an award that someone would get every year after you?
Well, first of all, I was shocked and humbled. Susie Bowie had invited me over to the community center building. And I was just sitting, I thought I was going to tape something. So we're sitting around, and then Susie opened the doors and all these people came streaming in. And I went, what are they all doing here? And then when they announced it, Paul Scharf, fortunately passed away, announced it. And it was a wonderful occasion. Talk about being humble. Truly is. And throughout the years, the people who have been the recipient of it are true community leaders. And I'm just so proud to lend my name to that. Of course, you know, I was the same humbled individual when in 2019, I was awarded the Distinguished Citizen of the Year at the Manatee County Fair. And that again was an honor. But I don't think of it as honors for me. I think of it as honors for METV. And I've always deferred to our staff and our board of directors. And they play a major part in making what we've done with METV so successful.
Yeah, well, you're always, you know, most of the programming that you and I worked on together were always about how you brought out the voices of people in the community and being at different places. And I can just remember being at, you know, places like the Rivonia Community Center when it reopened. I can remember being at Lincoln Park when it was, you know, when the pool was breaking ground, and so many other places. You know, that's tough work because there's no script for that when people are, you know, you're trying to talk to folks and you're so good at it and in putting all that together, you know. But, you know, maybe some folks would see a lot of the programming that you're doing, you know, run, like you said, you know, continuously. How about some things that you just do for the good of the community?
And I think that's a very good question. If I may, before I answer that, I have to do a special thank you to Sherry Corrier, because I remember a few years ago, several years now, Sherry was wise enough to say, you know, we want you to expand your capabilities and we're going to make some money available. And with that money, we outreached and bought new equipment that we have to this day. And Sherry made a huge, huge difference in our capability. And because of her vision and foresight, METV was very fortunate to expand its capability. But to get back to your question, the very unique things that we've done and are with organizations that really don't promote themselves perhaps as much as they do. Hope Family Services, for example, does a wonderful work with abused women, victims of domestic violence. And we've worked with them for many years. I outreached to Laurel Lynch when she was with there and said, we need to do something to promote your organization. And that's what we try to do, is work with organizations and to see what their need may be. It might be a public service announcement. It might be a little longer program. It might be a series of programs. So that's how we identify what the requirement is and then move forward. We've been very fortunate over the years to be working with Kiwanis. And those of you who are familiar with Kiwanis know that they have a number of speakers throughout the year that are unique. And we try to document as many of those as possible. And we've been very, very fortunate. You know, Gilbert Smith and Reiner, they've all been instrumental in the Kiwanis outreach. So, and those are the organizations that I try to identify with and promote. And as a matter of fact, when Misty was saying something earlier about nights and weekends and things of that nature, I remember on Easter Sunday, we were over at the EOC. It's my dog. Excuse me. The EOC, Easter Sunday.
That's why this is real, everybody. We are in his home with him.
Right, right.
I have a 1-year-old puppy, and she's still a little naughty. So, but anyway, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished and the wide variety of things that we've done. It's very hard to describe because, one might be something about medical issues. One might be a program about, development. So it's just the scope of things that are of interest to this community.
So Charles, I want to revisit something. You brought up, one of your proud career moments, and obviously, the tunnel has a special place in my heart because of the legacy of the minority community. And there's a lot of names that were mentioned, in the tunnel and the history of the legendary coach, Eddie Shannon. But every time I think about the tunnel, I think about names that not often mentioned, as far as Arthur Hardy, was a big time football guy, Chip Nelson, big time basketball guy, the legacy of Henry Lawrence and Ray Bellamy and all that. That's up under that umbrella. And those teams, if you listen to the Lincoln alumni, right, those teams were dominant teams. And, the legacy is, they went seasons without losing. But can you go a little bit more in depth about the film itself and some behind the scenes, the beautiful people you probably met and some of the historical lessons that you may have learned, on the film when you all were putting the tunnel together?
Well, I'm very proud of Through the Tunnel, and working with Judge Williams and Judge Adams was exceptional, and Moody Johnson, of course, played an instrumental role. But I must tell you, we were there on when Coach Shannon celebrated his 100th birthday and documented that, and I believe he's going on 102 now. So we're very proud to have the opportunity to work with him. But the unique thing that I learned, first of all, I didn't know that there was a tunnel between where Lincoln and I walked under that tunnel for the first time, and I was, suitably impressed. But the thing that I learned is what Lincoln Memorial High School meant to the students and the families in that community. Everyone was so involved. They loved that school. They were so involved in it. They captured the spirit of what a school should be. And it was one of the only Black school, high school in Manatee County. And when they ended segregation, they closed the school down and moved people to all the different other schools. And all the football team, because we tell it from the perspective of the football team, a lot of them didn't get to play because they had white players. And Henry Lawrence didn't play much at all his senior year, which was unfortunate. But the one thing that I did learn is that to this day, there are hundreds of Lincoln Memorial graduates who admire that school so much and will do anything. We are very proud of the fact that not only did we screen Through the Tunnel opening premiere at the Sarasota Film Festival, at the Sarasota Opera House, to a sold-out house, we were asked to bring Through the Tunnel back twice more. Once for their 20th anniversary and once recently for their 25th anniversary. And no other documentary has been asked to do that. It's because it's a meaningful, insightful look at segregation and integration. And we're very proud of that. And I'll tell you one thing, Coach Eddie Shannon is a living legend. Not only was he a great coach and a good man, but he is an inspiration to each and every student that came through under his watch. That's the kind of individual he is. And he's what, 5'1", 2", at best. He commands a presence, and we're very proud to have worked with him. And his insight into things. I remember when during the film, he talks about being called to the school when there were a little bit of riots going on and stuff like that. And he said, I'll take care of it. I'll handle it. And he did. So those are the caliber of people that are out there. But we also saluted, the women that were involved in it too. There were several women. Gwen McElroy, instrumental part of Lincoln as well. So through the tunnel, decades from now, generations from now, will be around for people to see and understand a point in history that was a little strange. People thought, integration would come and, everybody would be melding together. Well, for people that came from a Black school, and I'm very proud of their Black school, they were kind of out of the picture for a while. And those are the things that you have to kind of understand. Nobody knew how to handle it. Nobody had any answers at the time. And thanks to people like Eddie Shannon and Henry Lawrence, Moody Johnson, those things were settled and tried to remedy.
Such historical relevance. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's an amazing picture. Okay, I want to pivot just a little bit and talk about your role, doing the Board of County Commissioners meetings, which the three of us have all taken part in. And, we were there for a very short window, Reggie and I as commissioners and Sherry as a county administrator. But, I have worked with you as a staff member, as a private sector planner, as a commissioner, in so many different roles. And Sherry has also worked with you for a long, long time. And I'm sure Reggie's got the same question on his mind, and that is, what were some of the behind the scenes conversations? Because you saw some crazy stuff going on at that dais sometimes. I mean, while I was up there and while I wasn't up there, sometimes there's some crazy stuff going on up there. So how are you guys just continuing to keep it together and keep filming? You had to sometimes scratch your head and go, oh my goodness, this is going to be one for the history books.
Well, and I must say, we're very proud of the work that we've done for Manatee County government. Completely redoing the control room, making it more capable, more efficient. That was a big step in the right direction. There's certain criteria for doing government meetings. One has to follow certain regulations and rules and procedures in order to do it. I've been through a few county commissioners during my tenure. and it's politics as usual. I learned that early on. People have different perspectives. We don't editorialize. It's our responsibility to make sure that we provide the best coverage, the most complete coverage of a meeting that's taking place. It's up to your constituents to decide who may be out of order, who's a little over the line. That's not up for us to editorialize. Our part is to present it all for people to view and assess. And I think that's what we do very wisely. We've been at some meetings, a city meeting or two, where it's kind of gone over the top and, authorities have been called. And so those are situations outside of our control. Our efforts, direction, purpose is to make sure that we document, archive, and record all the meetings in their entirety up until the point where it's adjourned or it's recessed. And that's our responsibility. As you all know, politics is a funny little business. And people are going to say this or they're going to say that. I've been fortunate enough, as I mentioned before, to work with Sherry for many years. And it's always fair, always consistent, always listening. Those are key ingredients. I remember Reggie giving a speech one time on healthcare, and it was impassioned. It was direct, and it was something that, needed to be said. And, Missy, you've done things on hurricane preparedness and things which are, outgoing to the community. That's individual efforts that are being made. Individual efforts are on their own. We don't editorialize. We are there for one purpose, and that's to document, archive all of the recordings, the good, the bad, the ugly, and make it available for the public to consume and assess.
And that you did.
One of the most memorable and most recent, I think, for you and I, Charles, is the conversion from meeting in the chambers to going to the convention center during COVID, and having phone calls with you about not only the protection and health of you and your staff to do that, but any citizens that would come, and how we went into the main hall, as you can remember, the big place first for the board here, and Reggie and Misty were on the board at that time, and following all the protocols that a lot of people were very upset about and concerned about, the distance between where people were and what was done. And I would have to say, the flexibility and ease that you and your staff just rolled with the punches. I think no one sees that kind of work behind the scenes, that you have to carry all that equipment in and out and get it placed, and then there's an event coming up and you have to move it and start all over again, and on a very little, and not very many people in your staff. But I was so happy for you when you were able to move to the location where you actually had your own event facility. Sure. You could have, we had different programs in your METV location that's also was, along with the school district. And, a lot of people don't understand the logistics of all that. So I commend you. I commend your staff that were with you then, that are handling things now. And just to say that was a really difficult time. And that was one thing we didn't have to worry about, was the citizens were still going to get that programming where they could watch. And at the time there was call in, and people could actually watch from home in a safe place, and they could talk and ask questions and provide their, opinions. And so a lot of people don't understand the coordination, things like that take, where, we're back on the phone and everything. So that's something I'll always remember. And thank you for being able to continue to include the community.
Well, and I must say, Sharon, thank you for your kind words. The logistics of setting up outside of a commission chamber is extensive. We've done meetings at different locations, and I think the record is 13.5-hour meeting at the Civic Center, and pretty much all day. But the concept, it's behind the scenes. We don't want to draw attention to what we're doing. We want to be that service that you can count on. And throughout the years, with efforts being made, we've been very, very fortunate. And we want to continue to do that. You have the new 5th floor offices that they hold workshops and budget workshops in now. That's another facility that we look after. But the important thing to me, and it always has been, is public comment. People come, they're entitled to their 3 minutes of time. You want people to come and participate in their local government. And I think public comment is a very important thing. Obviously, there's rules that you have to follow and certain procedures that you have to adhere to. But public comment encourages people to participate in their local government. And I think that's an important facet to have.
Yeah. Well, anything else, you guys? I mean, we could literally, Charles, this is no kidding. We could stay here for hours and still not touch upon the amazing career and your life and your input and the reflections that you've had and the influences that you've made locally. But I'm going to let Misty and Reggie, is there anything else you want Charles to cover before we kind of close out today? And hopefully we'll have him back again.
Yeah, no, I just want to thank you, Charles, and tell you that we all love you. The whole community loves you and appreciates you so much. Thanks for taking time to be on our show.
Thank you, Misty. Thank you.
Yeah, and just like I said, it's an honor to be in your presence and for you to be on our show and to spend a little bit of time with us and just reflect on the impact that you've made on Manatee County. I think that's so very, very important. And we definitely want you to come back again and just, take care and just appreciate you. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Reggie. And if I may say one quick word, Sherry, again, I want to stress how much I respect and admire each one of you. You've been a real contributor to this community in a wide variety of capacities. And Manatee County is very, very fortunate to have individuals like you doing a program like this and outreaching to the community. I think you mentioned you've done 30 plus of these programs. I wish you continued success because it's an important program to outreach like that. I would encourage people to tune into METV. We're on Frontier, we're on Spectrum. We have our own YouTube channel. Find something that you enjoy. You can search on YouTube for any wide variety of programs that are. And Sherry, a special thanks to you for all that you've done for METV throughout the years. And the success that you helped bring. Again, my respect and admiration for each and every one of you. And thank you very much for allowing me to do this today. It's been very enjoyable. And I couldn't ask to spend a better 30 minutes than with you three. So it was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We hate to have to tune out now, but we really do appreciate your time. And we know that hundreds and thousands, hopefully, of people will be watching this show because they're just going to want to see you again and hear you again. And as you continue to do important things in the community and relax and take care of yourself and enjoy time with your family, we want to say thank you. And we want to tell everyone that we will be back again with new episodes. Just keep watching. We're going to be talking more about the budget, Charles's favorite subject, the county budget, all those numbers, see big numbers these days. And you can really tune in and watch us. So thank you, everyone.
And please follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And you can find us on each at the Big Picture Manatee.
And keep the questions and suggestions coming. We have our website open to you, thebigpicturemanatee.com. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you, Sherry, Misty, Reggie. Thank you very much.